Get women. It's biological. You're listening to Everyday Superpower. We talk body language, relationships, and game. Yes. Today is a message for everyone, but in particular, I sort of made a note of this to talk about this one for the younger crowd, for the younger generation, for those who don't have much luck with the ladies and are wondering why and maybe feel a bit down in the dumps about it. And just don't necessarily have the characteristics or traits to do that well with women, full stop. A lot of the Blackpill community stems from this particular space. Younger men who are having problems with women, maybe they're a bit weird, a bit odd, they don't fulfill the genetic criteria that woman is looking for, or what her biological pull is taking her towards. And let me tell you, if you're a man and you abide by what you should be doing for your own self-fulfillment, i.e. pursuing that which means something to you, i.e. making life a little more comfortable for yourself, financially speaking, development speaking, as you're continuing to sharpen your tools and garner knowledge in your specified fields, if not in a general sense, so you have a broader view and understanding of the world and the mechanics of how things are, you will start to find ideas how to accumulate money, yet at the same point you will need money less, because you will hopefully deny yourself of the material illusion that they impose upon you, and you find a higher meaning in everything that is above and beyond the worldly pleasures we have available to us, what they try to push in your face and distract you with and tell you that's what you want to have, that's what you want to aspire to have. As a man, that woman your age isn't looking for you. That woman your age is more mature than you. She's more developed than you. She's smarter than you. She's deeper into her feminine than you are into your masculine. We were all female within the womb. She has been longer than you. She has matured above and beyond the time it took you to mature as a man, right? She wants somebody a little bit older, because that man who's a little bit older has got such a bolder development within their masculinity that aligns with the feminine and their needs and wants. That older man can provide better, given he's on his purpose. This is what I'm trying to tell you, right? I'm not saying as you get older you'll become attractive to women. That's not the case. If you get older and you spend and invest your time wisely, you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to come from a good background. You don't have to go to, the best universities, and you don't need to take the path as to which is given to you, but you are learning about yourself, you're learning about the world, you're applying yourself, you're not just reciting information, you are applying information, and you are finding your own understanding and means to becoming something, a character, an entity, a persona, a brand, a company, the face of what it is you believe in and what you want to put out there into the world and what you wish to be perceived as such, then it's only a matter of time, because there is a compounding interest of your age and maturity and what it means to be a man and what it means to escalate the value within the sexual marketplace as a man in relation to the woman. Let's talk about it. The woman that's your age needs a man. She doesn't need a boy, and she'll perceive somebody who's younger than her as a boy. She will see somebody who is intellectually, emotionally, and everything in between immature as a boy, right? She needs to find maturity within the masculine realm for her to find that man attractive Okay, given she isn't desperate, yeah? If you're interested in what you deem to be an attractive woman or what society deems an attractive woman, then she's got plenty of choice, yeah? So you need to excel and fulfill a role that suits you first and foremost, because you are going to find fulfillment and happiness and contentment within this one life you've got tenfold the next person who just works a 9 to 5 job, right? And says yes sir to their daddy, their boss, yeah? If you choose to not abide by that and take your own path, then already you're winning in the eyes of what that woman perceives as a strong, independent, masculine, attractive entity. Just the only thing is it's tough because you're taking it down as survival as instead of slavery, right? I'm not going to be a slave, so I need to survive, right? Your brain's going to be on flipping hyper alert. Trust me, I know about this. Because you're going to be thinking, where do I get the money? Where's the money? Yeah, and you're going to become fine-tuned to that. And there's a thing, right? You don't lose women chasing the money, but you lose money chasing the women, yeah? That's some rapper game right there. It's basic, but it's truthful. So, you create more income, more streams of income as you grow older. You become, let's say for example, even if you do take the 9 to 5 route, fair play. Not everybody is a leader. Most people are followers, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, a general needs soldiers, so you go forth, you get your 9 to 5, you get promotions, you start saving, you start investing your money, you do whatever you want to do, you get a roof over your head, you do blah de blah. As time goes on, you're able to provide better, or at least you should be. As time goes on, you create more material resource, which is good. It's what she wants, it's what she biologically craves, right? That young woman isn't looking at a young man thinking he can provide for me, because that young man probably can't. That young man probably doesn't even have his head screwed on through the trials and hardships of life to be able to even consider where to go to get the money. But you as a man who have recognized the patterns of the people you've been surrounded with, in the structures and the organizations and the hierarchies you have been through at this point, you by experience have a knowledge that can have you excel and create the properties that that woman needs that that younger man can't. You represent a father as opposed to a boy. The man represents the father and the woman represents the mother, right? I'm not saying it's one thing or the other. I'm saying it is the relationship between man and woman and the archetypes of such. So with you portraying the father figure, you provide a comfort. You provide a fulfillment of the void that now exists, considering she's left the home, right? She doesn't have her father to rely on no more, right? The inner child yearns for it within her. I'm not saying this in some kinky way. I'm saying this in the reality of such, the psychology of such. So when you come forth and you're an older individual, and I'm not saying you have to be old, you don't have to be the age of her dad. I'm saying a few years older, you know? Generally speaking, you're looking at 3-4 years. That tends to be the pattern I've seen in my life, with not only my own experiences, but the world around me. She comes to you as a man with experience because you give her knowledge, you give her insight, you give her understanding. Aside of the father archetype, you provide a teacher archetype. The teacher is older than the student. The mentor should be older than the student. She looks to you for advice and you give her direction because you're logical, you are rational, you are a man. You have direction and you are able to see things outside of the lens of emotion, generally more so than the woman. If she don't respect you, if she don't think you're intelligent, if she don't blah blah blah, then fair enough. She won't ask you these things. She won't indirectly represent you as these characters and archetypes. She still might be with you. That's fine, because there might be other elements of your character as to which she finds wholly attractive. You can't wear every hat. That's fine. But as you get older, you garner more life experience. You become a better father, not only for her, but for your child of tomorrow, because on the baseline of this, what pulls man and woman together is the idea of procreation. So She thinks about herself. Can you provide her a better life? But submerged in the fathoms of the subconscious is, will he provide a better life for our children of tomorrow? A young boy doesn't have the resources to do that. A young boy doesn't have the life knowledge to do that. A young boy doesn't have the intelligence to do that. A young boy hasn't created the network in order to do that. And so on and so forth. And it's all a game. Let's say you are 28 years old, dating a 24-year-old, right? She might be turned off by somebody older than you. But the ladder continues as the 32-year-old man, given he's been on your life purpose and has lived the exact same life as you to 28 and then continued onwards, compounding the interest of that knowledge and information and path and pursuit of passion you've been on. He's going to be you, but more adequate, more attractive, more ready. Do you see how this goes? Whereas 24-year-old you, in comparison to 28-year-old you, when engaging with that 24-year-old woman who's been in a relationship with 28-year-old you, she's going to look at you as inadequate. As you get older, the women start to get older. And as the women start to get older, they acknowledge the ticking time bomb that exists within their biological makeup, aesthetically speaking and fertility-wise. They start to want to settle down a little bit. You now have more control over the dating market because, yes, you have access to younger ladies who think you are attractive because you have the masculine principle and entity they biologically crave in relation to people their own age or younger. And now you have the older women who still are older than you. Generally, you're not really going to be dating a woman who's older than you. It doesn't tend to be the way it is. You tell me if you disagree with that. But the ladies who are your age, if not a couple of years younger now, they are going to be wanting to settle down. I don't know what age you are. You could be 40. Like, it might have come and gone. But you know where I'm coming from here. I hate to use terms like this, but they might become a little desperate. And in being desperate, they're going to pursue you a little harder. And you're going to think, back when we were younger, you didn't care about me. But now I've been on my purpose. Now I've been on my drive. You're into me. And don't big up yourself and be egocentric about it. It's an aligning of the two. This is the space where the masculine and the feminine meet. The masculine has matured and the feminine starts to decline in value. And they meet you in the midway point. It's your choice now, as a man who's only continuing into his prime, to either settle down with that which you once couldn't have, or understand the process and continue onwards. And as the years go by, you have an even broader market share of what you have access to. Or, hey, it's one or the other. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. You will have judgment cast upon you. People will say, well, the bitter women of your age will start to throw shame on your name out of jealousy of your access of women who are more beautiful and provide more to you in the vein of bringing less baggage, more submissive, more cooperative, and more within their feminine entity. The women who have experienced that, dealing with men who are now of your age, but now you're there, their sexual market value starts to decline as they get older, as they start to be pressured by their womb to settle down and procreate, as they hadn't done so when they were initially told so by their body. And I'm not saying what's wrong or right, I'm saying this is what happens. And I've lost my train of thought. But there will be shame put on your name because they will be coming forth as well with an experience that might come with kids that aren't yours. More relationships than the girl who's a little younger. Yeah. And I don't say girl disrespectfully. Yeah. She's fully grown. She's mature. She's come out of university with an incredible education. She's flying. She's a lawyer. She's a doctor. She's a medical expert. She gets stuck in, but she still looks to you as the boss, as the head of the household. She doesn't give you none of that. She would have if you were younger. She wouldn't give you a second look. But now you've accumulated resource. You've accumulated understanding of self. You approach life through the lens of the masculine, not through a overt testosterone driven volatility as you did in your younger days. You've learnt lessons of self, and through the networking and recognition of patterns of the people around you, and you are now excellent. You have become the prize. You going into your 30s onwards as a man is the equivalent to that woman going through her early 20s. And what did you pay for it? Is this fair? Yeah, of course it's fair. Because look at the amount of men who take their lives. Look at the amount of men who are depressed. Look at the amount of men who turn to escape through drugs and drink and gambling and all of these poisonous redirections of anxious energy that they can't express to people because they have to save face. Because that's the way it is. You deserve to get what you deserve because you've lasted out this long, and I congratulate you for that. You've worked hard, you've gone against the grain, you've gone against the friction. You've been forged in the fire and sculpted out of the most resistant block of marble. You deserve to have what you want. Well done. This is some game right here. So men, continue working. It works out in the end. And you know what? By the time it does work out, you'll realise that you're not really too fussed about these women anyway. Because then you assess and understand your value, and that makes you even more attractive. Have you seen how this compounding interest works? Because now you understand the work and effort and hours and decades of work you've invested within yourself and your projects and your pursuit of creating something above and beyond yourself. You've taken your own path. You've not been told to do this because nobody can tell you how to take your path. Nobody sees through your eyes. Nobody sees through this eye that has got the foresight of everything you are to become in the future. Yet right now you're down here and you know you need to be up there, but you know you can only take one step at a time. Nobody has seen that other than you. Nobody has gone through the trials and the tribulations like you have. And now when you reach here and everyone starts giving you the adulation, once everyone starts bowing down to you and throwing themselves at you, you perceive it with a bitter taste in your mouth. Is this what it is? It was never what was in me beforehand, but now I've manifest my greatness. Now you want to tell me about how great I am? Now you want to flirt with me? If anything, I'm quite sickened by the idea that you think you're on my level. And that rejection, that detestation, that pedestalization of oneself, not in an egocentric view, but through an understanding of one's literal value, you become godlike. You don't become God, you become godlike. In your decisions, in your emphasis, in your words, in the weight of your steps as you continue climbing the mountain. That's some game. Click like and subscribe. Peace.